Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to, let's see, it is September 13th, 2017. Live Q&A. Now, the reason I'm doing live Q&A today is because, well, our studio still has no electricity or power. I'm leaving for Grand Con tomorrow. Well, hoping I'm leaving for Grand Con tomorrow. And so I'm not going to get many other videos up this week, so I figured I would do something here. And so we'll just answer some questions that you guys have, if anyone's watching. And according to this, 0 people are watching. So let me see if I can find it here. Ah, there's some people watching. Oh, more than 0. Okay, so a couple things. First of all, the Vasel household is coming back to normal here after the hurricane. There's still a good half of Homestead does not have electricity. As far as I know, Sam and Z still do not have electricity. There's a good lot of businesses are starting to open today, should be open tomorrow. We're hoping that the airport is fully functional tomorrow, so Z and I can go to Grand Con. And a really big thanks of some people sending some money, and I was able to divvy up amongst the guys, and we were able to get some groceries and stuff, and that was a really big deal since everything in our fridges and freezers was gone essentially. So that was very nice of people, and we really want to appreciate that. I had no physical damage to my property. The studio, if you watch the studio, there's an indoor porch area where we record our top 10s, and there's some destruction there. So we're going to get that one fixed. I think Sam lost a shed and some other stuff, and Z, surprisingly, is fine, and Derek had tiny bits of damage, but not much. The trees of Homestead have not suffered so well, though. There are trees down everywhere. I'd say almost 50% of the trees are gone, or will be gone soon. So either way, we make do. We continue on, and so that's that. I have some boxes here, which in a little bit I'll be opening up for a live sort of unboxing. We'll see what games. These are some packages that I think some of these arrived before the hurricane, actually. We just had my birthday cake. My birthday was, 5 days ago? But we had my birthday cake today, finally. So that was good. I'm 41. All right. Let's see what questions you got. Did you see that Origins hotels are already sold out? Well, that's not surprising. I think we're going to see everything sold out for a while. Until this board game thing levels out. We're going to see Gen Con sold out, Orlando sold out, PAX Unplugged. These conventions are all going to sell out. So more conventions will start. And eventually, I think things will even out. Any good games you played during Hurricane? Well, the best game I played was Viticulture, because I just like Viticulture. And we played Tiny Epic Quest, which was good. It was really good with 2 people. I'm wondering if it's as good with 4. Curious about that. What else did I played some new games. We tried some new ones out. The best one I think is called Card City. I think that's the name of it. It was a drafting game. It was really good. But the rest were from okay to just awful. So we'll talk more about those as they come up. My audio is slightly out of sync with the video. I thought that might be the case because I'm running a different audio. All right, this is what we're going to do. Okay, so that's not going to be as good of audio, but it should be more in sync. Let me see if that fixes it. So I'm going to figure that out as time goes by. What did you and your family do during vacation over the last few days? One of my little kids was like, that was a great vacation. I was like, I'm glad you thought so. Everyone was just antsy the whole time. The kids went to the Crayola experience in Orlando, the one we first got there before everything got too bad. And they had a good time, and I played some games at Cool Stuff. But for the most part, played games at the folks who were hosting us, who were very, very gracious. And other than that, we just kind of sat around and waited, which is just, everyone was just so antsy to get out. Let's see here. Is photosynthesis only available for those who went to Gen Con? Well, if it's not out, it will be out soon, I'm sure. Amazon says December 29th availability. Yeah, it'll be out before then. Viticulture with or without Tuscany? With Tuscany. So we played with the Mamas and the Papas, which is an essential viticulture anyway. We played with the 4-season board, which is important. We played with the buildings. And we play with the extra cards, the more summer and winter visitor cards. Tom, are you noticing the community of Florida coming together post-hurricane? Oh, for sure. Although it was interesting, one of the things that they worry about is looting. But, I mean, everybody was watching out for it. We were outside in front of my house yesterday. We were cleaning, and I was pressure washing. And a police officer drove by, and he's like, hey. And I was like, hey. He said, I forgot. What neighborhood is this again? And I said, Bali, which is my neighborhood. And he said, yeah, you're right. I forgot. I was like, sure. But I was glad that he did that, right? He's just kind of casually checking to make sure people who are where they're supposed to be. Sam says, I am a crazy person doing a live show. Tell everyone I said hi. Well, Sam. Anyhow, don't you have other more pressing things to attend to, says Steve. Well, there are things to do, right? Well, we got to be careful, right? If someone here needs help cleaning up, I'll go out and clean up and stuff. We got to be careful about gas and clogging the streets, too. So, but right now, our house seems to be in working order. I worked really hard yesterday to get it all done. All right, yay, the sound seems to have fixed. How many people were holed up there at cool stuff, at good stuff? Now, cool stuff, I think you mean playing games to pass the time. Well, I don't think anyone stayed at cool stuff during the hurricane itself. When will we see the top 90 to 80? Well, again, please, I got some angry emails from people about when videos were coming out and also when the fundraiser rewards were coming. And first of all, the fundraiser rewards are in the mail. There's not much I can do about that. But just remember, the hurricane has kind of slowed everything down. We have 90 to 80 recorded, but it will probably go up next week. Yes, I know that's a 2-week delay, and I'm sorry, there's not a lot we can do about it. I would believe hurricane would be one of the decent excuses we could use for getting videos up a little bit slower than I would prefer. Will we open the voting process for the People's Top 100 Games anytime soon? No, not anytime soon. It will probably happen, but not anytime soon. Do you still work with youth at church? Well, actually, I work with the children at church. I'm in charge of a lot of the children's activities and things that go on there. How did Cool Stuff fare? I got a message from them yesterday that said all lectures used back up. Everyone was at Cool Stuff, and Cool Stuff was back in working conditions on Tuesday. I know that they weren't on Monday, but they were on Tuesday. Did you find out if you lost any packages? Well, no, I don't really know how I would know if I lost packages or not. That's what we'll find out down the road. Down the road. We'll find it. Okay. You did a video on what games you were looking forward to that would be released on Gen Con. What game actually met your expectations? Well, I mean, you can just fully see that as I do reviews of each and every one of them. And some of them I already knew were good when I did that top 10. Z is feeling much better since his place survived, and so he has no electricity. But I just was in contact with him because we're making plans because he's going with me to Grand Con tomorrow. You said Jason went to work in Mexico, but they had an earthquake. Well, the earthquake was actually off the coast of Mexico, and yes, there was some damage done, but it would have been much worse had it been in Mexico. Jason is perfectly fine. I don't know when he's coming back, but I would imagine they will come back very shortly. They just moved their base of operations out of Florida for the hurricane. I don't know why I get angry emails. Some people ask. I mean, some people get very upset over not getting their stuff on time, and on one hand, I really understand that, right? You back the project, you want to get the rewards for it, and I really would like to get people rewards. On the other hand, I really wish some people would just back our fundraisers because they are supporting the content for the Dice Tower, and it's kind of unfun at this point in time when people get really upset they haven't got their stuff yet, and I'm trying to figure out what happened to it. Many times it's people's own fault. They change addresses and don't tell me, or the packages are sent and they didn't put their stuff in correctly. But sometimes it's the faults on this end too. But either way, there's thousands of packages going out, and I wish people were a little nicer about it. But most people are, right? Most people are very, very nice about it. So. Let's see here. Is there much humidity in your house? Well, not here. Although you think of it, there's probably a ton of humidity in the other house, in the studio where all my games are. But, it is what it is. Let's see. Any updates on the Indiegogo shipments? Well, as I just said, everything has been shipped. I hope you get it soon, but realize, first of all, that shipping was majorly disrupted, not just with this hurricane, but with Hurricane Harvey in Texas, and there's a lot of stuff going around. So please give it just a week or two more, okay, before you start emailing me. And we will try to get everyone their stuff. Please. I promise we're not gypping anybody. We're sending out the stuff. Well, thank you for the people who are saying very, very nice things. Blah, 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 blah. Did any witches get crushed under a house? Not this time. Still no power in my neighborhood here in Orlando. Can I come stay with you? Well, if you need to, let me know, but I'm going to probably be in Michigan. Thank you to Holland. You're going to play the hurricane card for being late with things. No, I'm not playing the hurricane card for being late with things. Actually, I can't tell if you're being serious or not. Oh, I was about to get all righteously indignant, and maybe you were joking. I'm sorry. Well, it's very nice of everyone here. Is saying nice and doing nice things. What are your plans at Grand Con? It's a very nice convention, and our plans are actually, my itinerary, we're doing a live Q&A there, me and Z, and the rest of the time we are just hanging out and playing games with people. I'm going to bring a pile of games with me. I have it sitting over there. They're upcoming games. They might be good. They might be bad. I don't know. I'm bringing a couple of them with me to play with people. There's a couple there that I feel certain are at least decent. And a couple that may or may not be good. We'll see. But also, I'll just play games that are in the library or with other people. I'm not scheduling games or anything or meals or anything. We're just going to go with the flow and see what happens. So I still plan to visit Essen. Oh, yes, for sure. That's in October. It's still a bit away. But yes, we are planning that for sure. Have you heard about anyone who lost their games or house in the storm? I don't know. I don't think anyone who lost their house is worried about their games at this point in time. I have not heard from anyone I know personally. Will your Essen trip be affected by the hurricane in any way? Probably not. Thank you to Isethel 1. I appreciate that a lot. When people pay for the super chat, do you get the money? I think so. YouTube pays like several months behind schedule. So I haven't got any super chat things until like last month, so I haven't seen them yet. But they would, I think I would get them at the beginning of October or something like that. Actually, maybe now. I don't know. Let's see. What are you looking forward to at Grand Con? Hopefully, a lack of wind and rain. That's kind of my main thing I'm looking forward to. Jack Vasel Memorial Fund is about 5 weeks away. Any hints on what you might be donating? I am really sorry. Until you just said that, I have not put a lot of thought into it. Obviously, I'll probably do my big box of surprise games that I do every year, and maybe I'll do something else. I haven't decided yet. When do you typically announce dates for Dice Tower Con? Well, they're already been announced. It's going to be July 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I believe. It's at least that week. I think July 4th is on a Wednesday this year. So that'd be 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. You mentioned that there's a new friendly local gaming store coming to the Miami area on Board Game Breakfast. Can you share the name, location, opening date? Well, the opening date, I don't know. It's cool stuff. And this is one of the things I'm going to talk about in a future Board Game Breakfast, but I'm really getting tired of them being maligned for being an evil online game store when their local game stores are really good. They're professionally run. They're really nice. And one's coming to Kendall near me. It's supposed to open, well, it was supposed to open months ago. It should open soon, I hope. Dabba-dabba-doo, dabba-doo. Is Gloomhaven a descent killer? For some people, I'm sure it is. I didn't see your Q&A session on the agenda for Grand Con. When will it be? Oh, that's a good question. Let me see if I have that. I have a Grand Con thing here. And of course, there's always the possibility that we won't go to Grand Con or something if our flights all mess up or whatever. Miami Airport was running at 30% yesterday. I'm assuming today it will run at a higher pace. Sunday I'm doing a chapel service type thing for people interested in that. Rolling with the Dice Tower, 5:45 to 6:45, Grand Gallery A. That's Saturday, so that's when we're doing our thing. You seem to be in good spirits despite the past week. I think, how are your wife and kids dealing with all the transpire? Well, the kids, it's fine, right? They're actually irritated that we have power and internet because power and internet means they have school. My wife is fine. What can we say? No matter how bad or inconvenient or costly it was for us, it is nothing compared to what's happened to some people. The people in the Keys got wiped. The people down in the Caribbean got nailed. You know, it could have been much worse. The hurricane was set to be on a collision course with Homestead. I would not be talking to you, well, at least from Homestead, probably right now. It just wouldn't happen. So we were very fortunate. Now, our fortune is other people's misfortune that it hit other people instead of us. But actually, it hit fewer people the way it went than it could have done. It could have been just a devastatingly horrible thing. So, and it's over, right? So we move on. Of course I'm in a good mood. It's a sunny, beautiful day. I'm here with my family. I can talk to you guys. What else can I say? Do people use thumbs up or thumbs down to your videos if they don't like the game instead of your video? I don't know. I'm pretty sure some people just thumb down our videos as a matter of course. I think it could show me like saving someone's life on the video, and I think someone would be like, you are being a braggart. Thumbs down. We have very few videos with no thumbs down. All right. Otter says, have one of your favorite waffles and S it on me. I will. Thank you. Let's see here. I don't know where Melody goes to school. Where was she with the family there in the evacuation? Yeah, we homeschool our children. We have not yet played Subterra, no. The hurricane will have damaged some of your plans for the next Dice Tower investments, won't they? Well, the hurricane essentially set me back financially a month, which is not great. Well, no, a little less than a month. I'd say 2 weeks. That's probably more closer to the truth of it. Maybe a little bit more. I don't know. Somewhere between 2 weeks and a month. We'll survive. Again, it could have been worse. The studio could have been destroyed. I could have lost my cameras. I don't have to rebuy anything. You know, that's a nice thing. So, but like any extra stuff that I was planning, and a little extra stuff, that may not happen. Right. Let's see. Lots of thumping on the table. I'm sorry. Am I thumping on the table? I don't think I am. That's thumping on the table. Oh, maybe I'm sorry. Okay, I see what I'm doing. Is there still room on a Dice Tower cruise? And is there a cutoff date should it not sell out? Yes, there's still room. Yes, there's a cutoff date. We will give the tickets back and do other things with the tickets if we don't get them. There will be a cutoff date, and it will be soon. I don't want to say October 1st, but that sounds legit. So, well, our cruise plans got messed up. Jason was planning to work on that this past week and so on, and just wasn't able to get all that done either. Will Clank in Space be supported with expansions like Clank? Which one is the Prime game? I don't know, but I honestly don't care. I'm glad Clank has an expansion. The expansion was really cool. Added more stuff to Clank. I'm glad that Clank in Space exists. I would not be opposed to expansions for either or both, but I think they're both fine. They're both really fun. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. Have you ever played pickleball? I have not. How are the extended Dice Tower Florida guys doing? I checked on Kenny today. Kenny's doing fine. I have not checked on Vernon, so I'll have to check that out later. Rob, as far as I know, Rob is okay, and our friends in Cool Stuff. Robert Geislinger up in Orlando was doing okay. I actually played some games with him when I was up there. And down here, the gaming group has been talking a little bit. It seems like most people are okay. If you want to know more details on the Dice Tower Cruise, it's at dicetowercruise.com. But you want to get on top of that right away. And if you have any specific questions, email us. Just email me at dicetower@gmail.com, and I will forward that to Jason, and he'll answer everything you need. Are 10 Days in Africa and others out of print now? Yes, Out of the Box Publishing has gone out of business, an unfortunate thing, but that's what you do. Maybe someone else will pick those up at some point. Hey, Tom, are you still excited wanting new stuff for Imperial Assault? No, I like Imperial Assault. It's a very fun game, but I'm not really going out of my way looking for new stuff. There's so much out there at this point. So are you having to record this? Hang on. Do I have to record this and stream off my phone tablet? No, this is off my laptop computer. I have a Logitech camera here. Someone recommended this to me. It was a good camera. I think that this is an actual nice live thing. I'll be using this at home from now on. The lighting seems to be fine. Of course, it helps that we're doing it during the day, so we have the nice Florida sun coming in from this direction. And it's not perfect, but, you know, it's still pretty decent. Let's see here. Yokohama or Istanbul, if I don't own either, that's up to you. I personally prefer Yokohama a lot more. What else can you tell us about Knoxford? I don't know. It's sitting on my desk over there. I haven't played it yet. It's one of the games I'm taking with me to Grand Con. Someone is at my gate. Let's hope it's a package. Oh, I should do that in a second. Okay, it's 2:56, so in 4 minutes I'll open packages. Thank you for all the people who said they liked our picture at home. That just worked out well. We got home and I said, all right, let's do a family hug, and I asked my wife to take a picture of it, and it just worked out really well. It's one of those pictures that I'll look at probably in 10 years and still really like that picture. Robert Orr is without power, but he's okay in case you did not know. Fantastic. Except for the out of power part, so hopefully that will do well. Has Wawa moved into my area yet? It has not. Lots of people talking about homeschooling. Is part of your love of time stories based on a level of innovation and originality from other games? I don't know what that means. I just like I like the story in time stories more than anything else. However, I will say that the story in Seventh Continent I am enjoying a lot too. Thank you, John Byrne. Really appreciate that. I know you no longer. Whoa. Okay, I know you no longer play, but are you happy WizKids is updating Star Trek Attack when you used to like it? No. I still like the game. I just don't play it anymore. And yeah, I'm glad that they're still supporting it. That's great for the people who really like that game. Do you foresee a day when you retire from Dice Tower activities? Yeah, I assume that will happen when I can't like move around anymore. Do I have room for Norwegians on my next Dice Tower Con and cruise? Of course. What did you do before the Dice Tower existence? I was a school teacher and a youth pastor. I've had many jobs in my life, but those are the ones I've had the longest. Tom, I see the poster in the background. Are you big into role-playing games? Not really big. I like them, but I like rolling 20-sided dice. I think I can have that poster, even if I am not a role player. Let's see here. Do you still take Talisman? Yes, I really do. Let's see here. How did Jason's house fare? As well as we know, his house is basically a fortress. I think he's fine. That's what he said. His neighbor. He talked to his neighbors. And his neighbor said his house was fine. Let's see. Are you looking forward to the Wawa expansion in Florida? Oh yeah, I love Wawas. What game has already been announced for this year are you most excited to get? Stuffed Fables, I would guess. That sounds right. I'm really excited about Stuffed Fables. I was pretty excited about Seventh Continent, too. Isn't Seventh Continent essentially impossible to get? Yeah, but they're running another Kickstarter in a few weeks, so you'll be able to get it there. Wow, I'm really getting disappointed by how this chat. Let me see if I move the chat out, because the chat just keeps sliding on me the whole time. Are you excited for the new Dark Moon expansion? Not really. In fact, I didn't even take it to review it because I like Dark Moon. I thought it was a fine game. I didn't think it was amazing. I thought it was fine, and I don't really am like, well, I need an expansion for it. The more I look at Dark Moon, the more the graphics just put me off from it. It's fun, it's okay, but I'm not a huge fan of it, so it's like one of those games like, that's a good game. But unless the expansion majorly changes it, if I hear people say that, then I'll look more into it. Is Sam's copy of TI4 still in good condition? I'm assuming so. Do you have a favorite Cosmic Encounter race? Yes, I think I did a top 10 on that, so you should check that out in case I contradict myself now. Hey, it's 3:01. It's time for some unboxing. Alright, so first we have this little box here. I'm going to move to OBS so I can make sure that these things, you can see these. Alright. Sometimes I just wish people would put things in a box instead of wrapping the games, because they always make these much harder to open. But it is what it is. This looks like two of the exact same game. Bye Bye Black Sheep. This is from Jolly Thinkers. Oh, I like the artwork a lot. Oh, it's from the Pick a Pig people. Yeah, okay, right. Tell me about that. I've always liked their artwork, so that's cool. Got 2 copies. All right. Next. This looks like it's from WizKids, so that's good. I'm gonna cut towards myself now. No, I'm not. Don't worry, folks. I'm cutting away. What is this? Ooh! This is Tomb of Annihilation Dice Masters. Oh, this is a draft pack. This contains all the cards and dice one player needs to draft. One player? Holy smokes. This feels like more than one player. What's in here? I like Dice Masters, so I'm excited about this, but there's enough here for one person to play? Oh. I see. There's enough in one of these for one person to play. This is a draft pack. Oh, that's interesting. Cool. Huh. How heavy is this? Maybe I'll bring this to Grand Con and we can play it there. I've never done a draft before. If I did it with people who weren't like serious about it, we'll see if I can fit that in my suitcase. Alright, what's in this thing? Ooh. I was talking to Jamie Stegmeyer about this one. Scythe, the Wind Gambit. I said that would be super ironic if this was this package actually had been on our porch, but our neighbor grabbed it for us. It'd be very ironic if somebody had grabbed this and taken it. Ooh. Those are huge ships. That's neat. But that's all I can show you for now. Huh. Maybe I should bring that to Grand Con, but someone would have to have Scythe there for me to play that with them. Alright, let's see what's in this one here. Periorbis. You're an asteroid mining company and your aim is to mine, transport, sell more precious ore than your competitors. Blah, 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 blah. It's from Perihelion Games. Guys, stop naming your game after your company after your first game. Well, here, I guess. Perihelion. Well, let's hope that's good. It has a good weight to it. Alright. That's the last one. I don't know what's in here, although... Peanuts. Anyone want a peanut? This is from Space Balloon Games. Oh yeah. Wasn't this one of the ones I was excited about? I was excited about this one at UK Games Expo, I think. You and the other players are trying to outmaneuver one another as scheming noblemen in Renaissance Genoa. Send your family members to hire new employees, get new workers, increase your fame, and convince the local lord that your family is worthy of a marriage with his beautiful daughter. It's a pretty hefty game. Someone outside my door? Let's open this up and see. A lot of pieces. Got some meeples. Oh, those are carriages. Those are big, chunky pieces. Alright, cool. Well, those are all the boxes I have for you today, folks, but I am going to go check. I'll be back in 1 second. Let's see if any packages showed up in the mail. All right. One giant box came. So I guess Amazon is delivering again. I did not order this. At all. It's a hat. Well, that's very nice. Sure. Is there a note? Happy birthday. I hope you enjoyed it as much as the purple one from Richard. Well, that's super nice of you, Richard. I do enjoy the purple one. Oh, that's a nice color. Brick, essentially. All right. Yay, I got a birthday present. Well, thank you. Let's get back to where my chat is. That window has disappeared. All right. Whew. So people are watching me open packages. Blah-ba-dee-doo. Oh, Cowboys are in a new Smash Up expansion? Yeah. And I didn't even, like, get people behind me to vote. I've been too busy to doing that sort of thing. I work 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday. How many hours a week do you put into the Dice Tower? I don't know, 60, 70, maybe? It's a business, so I mean, I'm sure that's small behind what a lot of people put into their things. Probably more than that, probably 80. But it doesn't matter, right? Because some of it's at home and I get to be with my kids then. Will there be a Miami Dice about First Martians? Yeah, when we play it. For people who've been asking, like, have you played it yet? And the answer is no. I've just been kind of like, ugh, I got to play this game. Which seems weird, right? It's this big, giant game, and we already played it. Ignacy taught it to us. We played it. We did a first impressions of it. But he was there explaining it to us. I know the rules aren't great, so we're kind of just like, we'll get to it when we get to it. If you find the pieces of the Think Fun roller coaster building logic game were subpar, I may get it for my daughter, but it looks cheap, breakable for a 5-year-old. Well, it probably is breakable. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not breakable, but it didn't feel cheap when I played with it. Do you think that more board game publishers will include 12-sided D6s as time goes by? I wish, but no, I don't think that will happen. Jack Reed has been singing the praises of Pandemic Legacy to us. What's your take? Pandemic Legacy is one of my favorite games of all time. I believe in my top 100 games, it was in 90 to 100, and that's very, very high considering I played 5,000 plus games. It's a fantastic experience of a game. Really, really like it. My wife and I are arriving in Florida a few days early to get over the jet lag before we go on a Dice Tower cruise. What fun things are there to do to help keep expats awake in the Florida-Miami area? Well, there's lots of things. There's a Florida Zoo. There's, of course, the beaches if you're into that sort of thing. I don't really, there's gaming, I guess, but that doesn't count. I'm sure there's things to do. I'm just not the best person to ask about them. I mean, if you're getting a few days early, I might drive down to the Keys and see the Keys, although I don't know if they'll be repaired by then, but we'll see. How would you recommend a kid who's obsessed with Pokemon Go get started with the card game? I don't know, just buy a couple starter packs and see if they like it. This is the worst episode of Game of Thrones I've ever seen. I'm so surprised I got mail today. I would hope the airships were different for every faction, and that Wynn's Gambit, they're not. Unfortunately. Let's see. These are people who are answering things. Why do I have dolls? This is my kids' gaming room. Everything here is in different drawers. There's dress up, Nerf, more dress up, softballs, food, Barbies, cars, Legos, ponies, all kinds of stuff. Oh, Monkey Jungle. I've never actually been to the Monkey Jungle because it's very, very expensive. It's like $30 a person, and I have a lot of kids. I heard it's really good, but I haven't gone there yet. What do you think of the iPhone X? Gonna get it? Well, probably not. It's super expensive. It looks really neat. I was kind of mind-boggled that they released 2 iPhones on the same day. iPhone 8 and iPhone 10. Sorry, it's not even called iPhone X, which is confusing. There's no iPhone 9, so why not? I don't know what the purpose of the iPhone 8 is. I guess it's so there's a cheaper product out there, and that's the one that most people are gonna get. And then they said the iPhone X is like the next big thing, and I guess the facial recognition things look neat, and the screen and all, and the cameras I'm sure are great. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure it's cool. I thought it was neater about the watch. The fact that the new watch now has cellular chip in it. That's pretty cool that you'll be able to call from your watch and not need it to be tied to your phone. Did you hear Shut Up and Sit Down is doing a TI4 documentary? Any thoughts? I'm sure it'll be interesting. Tom, do you play Hearthstone? If so, what's your favorite class deck to play? Yes, although I'm on and off. Like, I haven't played Hearthstone. Like, the new set, I was like, it was okay. I really liked the set before that. My favorite 2 people to play is the Hunter. I really like the Hunter a lot. And I really liked the Wizard. I have an Elemental deck that I'm pretty happy with. It's fun. By the way, just so you know, I play Wild. I play with every card. I don't like that they phase cards out. I just like to play that way, I'm sure there's broken decks in there and all, but it's just fun for me. Did you get a chance to go to Red Lobster for your birthday and all you can eat shrimp? I did not. Any chance I might have had going there was slightly pushed away by the storm. Let's see here. Count up travel times and 60 to 70 is regular hours for most. Well, yeah, I'm not counting travel time though. I don't want to turn this into something where I work more than most people or I work less than most people. I don't know. I just like to work. I really dislike not working. When I take a day off, it drives me nuts. Part of the reason I'm doing a live Q&A right now. Will I create any more board games? We'll have to wait and see. Go to a Dolphins game? Yeah, that's something to do, right? Go to a Dolphins game. Yeah, this is not very interesting to listen to or watch, I guess, because there's just a lot of questions here, which are very, very simple questions. Is Melody going away to college? No, she's in her high school senior year here at home. Any clue when the next Top 100 part will go up? Yes, you'll see it next week. Do you think we'll see a 7th continent review before the new Kickstarter? I don't know. All my reviews are I had my reviews planned for this past week. That totally got thrown out the window. I would like to do a whole pile of reviews over the next couple of weeks. We're just going to have to wait and see. Are we going to be doing the new Rum and Bones factions? I like to, but I don't actually have them. Would you be interested in investing in and using the Dice Tower's power and knowledge to start an American printing company for games, from cards and dice and even minis? I would not. Will you do a most anticipated from the Spiel Fair video? Yes, we will do that for sure. Do you like Space Alert? Yes, I like it. Yeah, someone else was talking about how great Monkey Jungle is. You're probably right. I just didn't want to go to Monkey Jungle with a couple of my kids. And again, it's like $30 a person, and you multiply it times 8, 9. I guess there's 9 of us. That's no small thing, especially since Monkey Jungle lasts just a couple hours. Maybe we'll go someday. I hope the monkeys are okay. If you were to play Clank off the shelf and play it right now, would you use the expansion or no? Probably yes, because I like the expansion maps a lot, but it's not like a guaranteed thing. It depends what map I would use, honestly. The cards, yes, I'll use the expansion cards. Is a review for Anachrony coming soon by any chance? No. The Anachrony, I got a copy at Gen Con, and that was put in some boxes that were shipped. Those boxes got delayed by the hurricane in Texas, go figure. Then they got delayed. They were about to show up a few days before the hurricane here hit. They got delayed because of that. I'm actually not quite sure where those packages are. And there's probably 20 games in there. So Anachrony just happens to be one of those. If you can make it over to Lion Country Safari in West Palm Beach, it's really neat. I've heard that's really good too. I've not been there. I read somewhere that many products don't have a 9 because it sounds too much like 9 in German. That might be true. I still think it's weird. Like, if I were them, I wouldn't even call it iPhone 10. I would just call it iPhone X. And then you can go to X1 or, I don't know, X2 or something, I don't know. And they also did 10th anniversary. It's just very weird, that's all. Let's see here. A lot of people were asking about specific games and stuff, I have done reviews on games. You can easily find them on our website, all the different games that you're asking about. And if I haven't done one, that means I probably haven't played it yet. Let's see. Tom, I got in HeroScape a few months ago and bought 2 master sets. Should I hunt down the Forest expansion? Or any recommendations? Can't find any expansion under 100 euros. You're right, they're very expensive, and it's not very fair. The Forest expansion is great because some of the terrain and stuff it comes with, I really like it. And if I ever see one anywhere for a cheap price, I'll buy it because I really like the bridge and some other terrain that comes with it. However, you don't need it, right? You don't need any of the expansions. So I wouldn't pay 100 euros for them. But if you ever see one for a cheap price, I would get it. Forest is a must for HeroScape, or else the ranged characters dominate. The ranged characters don't dominate. It depends how you set your board up. Also, I think you're probably talking about the fact that Forest comes with the road, and you can play with the road movement rules, which lets people move very fast. That's true, but you can get a lot of road pieces in any castle sets, and those castle sets are a lot cheaper to find. You need a place to hide. Oh, okay. Why do you homeschool your children? Well, for a variety of reasons. My wife and I, my wife's major in college was education, and I was also a teacher. We felt like we could do a pretty good job at it. We use a very good curriculum, and there's just a lot of reasons for it. But one is because we feel our kids are going to get a very, very good education that way. Do you wish board games came in more standard box sizes? Oh, yes, do I wish that. Let's see here. Yeah, there's a lot of people asking questions. Some of them I've already answered earlier in the Q&A, so you might have to go back and watch it again. Who's your favorite baseball team? The Blue Jays? Is it Toys R Us bankruptcy? Big names for board games. Well, I did not know about any Toys R Us bankruptcy, so let's check that out. Toys R Us bankruptcy. No Game Changer. Reportedly weighing bankruptcy. Toys R Us now playing catch up. So they haven't done bankruptcy, they're just exploring it. Oh, okay. Well, nothing has happened yet, so I'm not going to worry about that for now. Are you guys ever going to visit Seattle? I'd like to come up to Seattle, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I don't know. Let's see here. So Jamie is sending Dice Tower a copy of Charterstone. Will that be a Miami Dice, or will an individual be reviewing? Well, we'll have to wait and see if Sam and Z play it. I'm definitely going to play it, so I will definitely be in the review on that one of Charterstone. I just don't know who else will be in it on it. Were the games that were delivered to the house before the storm a total loss? No, some of them were. These right here. We asked the neighbor to grab them. Now, there may have been some that were delivered after that. I don't know. And if they were, then maybe they're gone. We didn't see any. I have not played Shark Island yet. How likely are you to play a house-ruled game as opposed to just getting rid of the game? Hardly ever. I really believe that it's not my job to fix games. Now, sometimes when we'll play a game and I'll be like, I really like this rule. And I'll play with house rules, don't get me wrong. But I'm a little cautious about house rules for a couple of reasons. One, they're house rules. You play the house rule a lot, you go somewhere else to play that same game, and now you have a problem playing that game with the other people because they're not used to your house rule. That's fine. So let's say you're just playing at home, that's fine. But if a game doesn't work and it's garbage, I'm not going to sit there and go, how do we fix it? Pfft, it's gone. On to the next one. Now, if you spend a lot of money, you might try to do your best to do it. I remember back in the days, Mage Knight Dungeons was not that good of a game, and we house ruled it and made it a completely different game. But that's because that was just my desire to do that. I don't feel like that's something that I have to do, though. Does the rumor that says the next Time Stories installment will be mature worry or bother you any? Well, first of all, it's not a rumor. It actually is recommended for mature. But I talked to the guys who make Time Stories, and I said, it seems like the themes are pretty mature anyway. Honestly, the only one I would play with my kids is the third one, the fantasy one. The first one's really dark. The second one is gory and dark. The third one's more lighthearted and fun. The fourth one, what's the fourth one? That's the Egyptian one. The Egyptian one might work for families. Then the next one, the Arctic one, very dark adult themes in that one. And then the last one, which was the Crusader one, maybe that one would work also. I'm not sure. No, it gets very dark near the end. Depends on what age your kids are and whatever you let them do, right? So I was like, how much more mature is it going to get? I don't know what you mean by that. And I tried to feel them out, but they wouldn't tell me what they meant by that. Will Eric come along to Essen this year, too? Yes. At Essen will be myself, Sam, Z, Eric, Derek, Jason, Suzanne, and Mandy. We'll all be there. People keep asking me about Seventh Continent and Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven is one of my favorite games. You'll have to see where it ends up on the top 100 list. Seventh Continent I am still playing and enjoying. I haven't done a review of it yet. So I'm not really comparing the two of them. So currently, right now, it would easily be Gloomhaven. I don't see that they're even a little bit comparable, though. I shouldn't say they're not a little bit comparable, but I don't see why that question is so hot in everyone's thing. They're both independent Kickstarters. Is that why they're different? I mean, they're very different games. One is like I think the question that you should ask is this: is Seventh Continent better than Time Stories? See, now that's the question. I'm not going to answer that yet, but that's the question you should be asking. Do I often visit Miami? Well, I basically live in Miami. I mean, I live south of Miami, but we go up to Miami all the time. We're just a few 20 minutes away or so. Let's see. Wow, there's another question about Seventh Continent or Gloomhaven. You've been to Disney World. Do you ever plan to visit Disneyland? Oh, no. I mean, I guess if someone gave me free tickets or something, but I don't think I'll ever be out to LA other than maybe for business, which I don't think even that will happen very often. And I wouldn't go to Disneyland without my kids. So for me to take all my family all the way to California to go to Disneyland when we have Disney World right here, and we can't afford that one anyway. So we went to the Crayola Experience when we just went to Orlando because that's what we could afford to do. The monkeys are okay, but the park is in bad shape right now with no estimated reopening date. Yeah, that's a bummer. Monkey Jungle. All right, so when it opens, I will try to scrounge up money and save to take my family there. You mentioned that Dice Tower Con is an excellent convention to play games, and I might go next year, says Guido. Is it possible to buy games there, too, from the exhibitors? It is, and also cool stuff is there selling games. So it's very easy to buy games there. What was the most surprising game on Eric's Top 100 list for you? I guess I should watch it. For HeroScape, I meant you need a place to hide your characters or else range will pick them off. You can get around with stacked singles, but trees are better. Oh, I see what you're saying. Trees give you room to hide from the ranged people. Well, yeah, but you don't necessarily need that set. There was also a jungle set where there's trees that block it. And again, the castle did a really good job because there was walls and things. I always try to make different hilly areas with my HeroScape so that people can hide. Um, what's my advice for people going to Grand Con for the first time? Have fun. Come say hi to me and Z if we're there. um, I did not listen to the latest Ludology episode. Guys, I'm really behind. We have not had a lot of internet over the past week or so. So I haven't listened to podcasts or watched many videos. We're really far behind. Oh boy, I'm really far behind in a lot of preparation for stuff, and I really apologize about that, folks. But I will get back on it. Do I have a favorite hockey team? No. I don't really enjoy hockey as a sport. I really like playing street hockey. As a kid, we played street hockey all the time. It's super fun. And if you took me to an ice hockey game, I would enjoy it and be involved with it. But other than that, I don't care about the sport. I don't find it that interesting. Again, not criticizing the sport at all. I have to say that because Sam will come in here bursting through the door and kick me in the head because he loves hockey. But I don't find it nearly as interesting as he does. So I have no favorite hockey team. Did you see the Orville? No. Again, I like to reiterate about the whole, we haven't had a lot of internet access in the last week or so. No advance ticket at PAX Unplugged. You know how you'll omit to your show. I don't know that we're doing a show. I haven't got word back from PAX Unplugged if they have agreed to do it with us or not yet. So, will we do a live show there? I don't know. But every PAX Unplugged show, every PAX show is the same way. You just line up and that's how you get in. StarCraft invented deck building before Dominion. No, it didn't. That's a really, really silly argument. Yes, you had a deck of cards that, yes, cards were put into and you purchased from technology, but it wasn't even remotely like Dominion. There's no crossover. There's almost no similarities between them at all. There's no one who plays StarCraft and you say, hey, Dominion, now, you played StarCraft before, right? No, does not happen. Dominion is the grandfather of deck building games. I may not like all the games that Donald Vaccarino does. In fact, he doesn't do many good ones. However, he did a great job on that one, and it is definitely the father of deck building. Do you know any website that sells conceptual art for board game design proposals? I don't understand that question, actually. Is there a big language gap at Essen? If you speak German or English, either one of those, I think you'll do really well. I don't speak any German at all, and I get along completely well at the fair. Do you think Royals is too mean for families to play? You have a different family than me if you think things like that are too mean. Calling Gloomhaven number 2 on your list. That seems pretty high. You think it would go up to my number 2? You'll have to wait and see. I mean, you're assuming it's in the top 10 even. But I am spoiling it is in the top 100 for sure. Will there be a look back episode this week? No. Again, for those of you just coming in, there was a hurricane that hit South Florida. My studio's without power. I'm very fortunate that my house has power. And so we are not able to set up the lights, cameras, get to the games, have my editor put things together. Derek's working on some editing this week of Jason's blogs from Gen Con. Next week, I will jump full bore back into reviewing, okay? I'm going to review more games than I reviewed before, just to catch up. But cut us some slack for this week if you can. You ever check out the Florida Renaissance Festival? No, I keep meaning to go to that, but I have not yet gone. Have you ever played the card game version of Car Wars? Oh, man. Yeah, a really long time ago, actually. They actually made a version, I think, called Cow Wars or something, or Cattle Wars or something like that, which was the same thing, or Battle Cattle, or I don't remember what it was called. But it was the exact same thing. In fact, you could mix them. It's an okay game. It's basically a take-that game. I remember when I first got it, I was like, wow, this is really cool. But that was about it. If you haven't answered this, can you explain a new video audio format? Okay, I'll explain it again because now there was no audio show up yesterday because me, Eric, and secret guest were supposed to record last week, and instead of recording, I decided to run from a hurricane. So that was not recorded, so no show went up Tuesday. But we are doing that. We've been doing it, recording our show the same way we always have, going up every other week. That's going to continue for the foreseeable future. Suzanne and Mandy are recording a podcast to go in the other week. Now, me and Eric are going to be doing a live back and forth Q&A type thing with you guys, with us talking about games, basically doing our show, which will be on this video channel, and I will record it, I will save the audio of it, and also put that on our feed. So essentially you are losing nothing. Instead, you are actually going to get an extra show of Suzanne and Mandy. That's what's happening. Any advice for introducing oneself to an established gaming club? I like to link up with one nearby, but that's just a tiny bit awkward about what to do. I might email them first, tell them you're coming, tell them your name, maybe tell them a little bit what you look like, so when they come, they know, hey, this is that new guy that was coming in. And if they're not very welcoming, then don't go back. Go somewhere else. But most gaming groups I've been with will be very welcoming, especially if you explain that you're new and stuff. Don't be afraid to say, hey, this is my first time here, and hopefully someone will help you get involved. Do you have any advice for a college student board game club? I really don't, because I don't know. I think it's different in every college. Maybe someone else can help you out more than that. When I was in college, I just told people I was gaming and grabbed people I knew and played games. That's what I did. I went to a fight last winter and a hockey game broke out. That is the one thing that if I said to Sam right now, he would be like, But I don't think he'd get too mad because he knows that I'm joking, I think. So, no, I would never say that. Any hockey fan, that's the one phrase I think that really bothers them. And they will come back and tell you that there's not that much fighting in hockey. My thing is, I've always been confused why any fighting seems to be tolerated at all. Like, if you throw a punch in any other sport, you get in huge trouble. In hockey, you were, like, pulled out of the game for a little while. That seems very odd to me. I don't get that, but it is not nearly as much fighting as I know that people tend to think it is. If you could only go to one, and Ohio would be the cheaper destination, which would you choose? Gen Con or Origins? Gen Con, because it's important for us to go there. Favorite NBA team? I dislike basketball. Now, it's not like hockey. Hockey, I don't really care about hockey that much. But I actively dislike basketball. I think watching a basketball game is fine. It's interesting. College basketball maybe is better. But for NBA, I feel that I like watching team sports. I felt like basketball is a very individualistic thing where people look at very individuals and talk about how amazing those people are to the point of calling them King James and things like that and giving them huge salaries, and it's all about the show-offness. I guess specifically, I dislike the NBA. I also maybe have some predilection to not liking basketball because my whole life people assumed I was good at basketball because I'm tall. And every time I played basketball, I found that the nicest, kindest people, when they play basketball, take the sport extremely seriously. And I just want to have fun. It's how I often get on people's case, heavy Euro gamers and war gamers, and they take gaming so seriously. I'm like, aren't we just here to have fun? No, we're here to win. And I feel like that happens a lot in basketball. I'll play basketball and people are like angry and yelling and pushing and shoving. I'm like, oh. And they're like, you missed that shot. And I'm saying, well, is it that big of a deal? Yes. Oh, okay. And I've really disliked basketball because of that. Even pickup games of basketball just get very serious. I've just never liked that. Am I a Miami Dolphins fan? Yeah, as much as I like the Miami Dolphins. Now ask me who their quarterback is and I don't even know. But I really like watching football. Because football, I like watching the plays and seeing the 11 different players go in different directions, and this play does this, and this play does that. And like on a strategic level, I find that really fascinating. Now, baseball is still my favorite. Baseball, because it's move by move, play by play. That's why I like baseball. And I also like in baseball, it doesn't matter how far you are behind, you can always catch up. They say are people without electricity staying at home by candlelight? Maybe. I don't. Well, Z's staying at someone's house who has electricity. Sam was able to borrow a generator from his neighborhood, so he was able to get some power. So I think that some people, we bought a whole pile of candles before the hurricane just in case. Actually, that's not true. I should rephrase that. We gathered our candles together because we already have a lot of candles. I'm a sucker for scented candles. The hottest hot sauce you have eaten? I've eaten so many hot ones, I don't know which one is the hottest. I tend to avoid those extremely hot sauces now. Isn't it kind of jerky for them, and this person's talking, Sarah's talking about Space Cowboys, to not explain mature when someone straight out asks? Off-putting at minimum for me, and I own all the Time Stories content so far. If I had to guess, it would be nudity, maybe? Or sexual content, maybe? I don't know. And I think they didn't want to spoil the story for me. So I'm not quite sure what all that means. And we're just going to have to play it. I will say that starting with the next Time Stories, we have decided to not record them. So, because they have not gotten that many views, each live play of Time Stories has gotten, there's two things. Successively, people have very few views on them comparatively, and people have told us how dumb we are the whole time. Like, that's a stupid move, and I can't believe you guys did that and that, and why didn't you solve that puzzle? And after a while, like, it's a little wearying, right, to hear how dumb we are. So we figure we won't put that on display. We'll just play it, and then we'll tell you what we think of it. Do you enjoy doing these Q&As, or are they secretly a bit boring for you? No, I really like doing the Q&As. It's fun for me. Do you ever watch the Hot Ones, a hot sauce Q&A show on YouTube? I did not know such a thing existed. Let me see. The Hot Ones. Oh, wait a minute. Is that... That's where they have, like, yeah, okay. This is one where they have people eat really, yeah, okay, I've seen this before, where they have people eating spicy wings and they're doing something else. That's not as interesting to me. I thought it was like someone doing like a show about hot sauce and reviewing them. That I would find more interesting. I've watched a few of those before, and it's funny to see people eat those and answer questions, I guess. But that's not what I'm actually, that's not what I'm looking for. Are you going to do multiple top 100 videos in a week with Sam and Z to catch up? I don't think we need to catch up. I was going to do 10 weeks of videos. It was going to end the first week in November. It will now be 2 weeks behind, so it'll end mid-November. I don't think that's problematic. I don't know that we're going to... Those are... I cannot tell you how much work it is to edit one of those top 10 videos, top 100 videos. Um, I've really fallen behind, and this is really annoying. I don't know why YouTube cannot fix this chat thing. I shouldn't have to accidentally touch the mouse a little bit, and I've tried so many ways, and it just shoots down to the bottom with questions. I find that very frustrating because it happens a lot during the live chat. I wish that they would fix that somehow. I'm trying to get some print and play promo expansions for a game. What's the best site to use for custom printing chits and cards? Maybe GameCrafter? Honestly, other than that, I don't know. I used ArtsCow way back in the day, almost a decade ago, but I don't know what I would use now. Do you use meetup.com to find events or post events? Yeah, we have a Miami Board Games meetup group. That's how we schedule our meetups. When's the next crowd surfing? I did a crowd surfing last Wednesday, so this coming Wednesday will be the next one. I do it every other Wednesday-ish, depending. Did I get the crowd surfing up in time? Yeah, I did. I recorded it and posted it right before we left for the hurricane. So StarCraft's not a deck building game. What are your thoughts about the StarCraft game? It's fun. It's kind of like a knife fight in a phone booth type thing. You got to be really careful about the things what you do. The Warhammer game, the Warhammer 40K game, which name is escaping my brain at this point in time, kind of replaced StarCraft. It did a lot of similar things to StarCraft. There's a lot of differences, but a lot of similarities too, and I think that one did it. StarCraft was neat back in the day. The biggest problem with StarCraft, it wasn't StarCraft, right? It was the big, Twilight Imperium look type thing at StarCraft, but StarCraft was never about that. StarCraft was about people having, building units and running them, Zerg rushing your opponent and things like that. So I think that was maybe a problem with the game. The game is fine, but it hasn't aged well for me. Also, it's super expensive. In a year, you should do a look-back video and display videos of hurricanes. Have you read How Do You Like the Wheel of Time book series? Yes. I read the Wheel of Time book series multiple times. And the reason I had to read it multiple times is because every time he had a new book, I had to go back and reread it because I couldn't remember any of the characters. And I got really frustrated with it at starting with book 8, 9, and 10? So frustrating. It was like he was deliberately dragging the story out. I want to say at the end of book 8, a major event happens. It was at the end of book 7 or 8. A major event happens. You're like, oh, great. The next book, the first half of the book, talks about what other people were doing during that major event. I mean, when he has a great moment, book 1 is really good. Book 2 is a very good sequel. Book 3 does a pretty good job. Book 4 starts dragging things out, even though Book 4 is one of my favorite endings of the series. Book 5 is where you were like, oh man, now he's just dragging things out. Book 6 has a great ending, a really great ending, but doesn't go anywhere. And then Book 7, 8, 9 drag things out. Then it starts speeding up, and then he died, and then the next guy came in and did it. Brandon Sanderson did a good job at finishing up the story, but had to write 3 books to finish up the story. It was supposed to be just 1, and wrote 3 humongous books just because there were so many storylines. And some of those storylines, one in particular, I gotta be careful, I don't want to necessarily spoil it, but there's 3 main boys of the story. Matt, Rand, and Perrin, and then there's some girls who also become very major characters. And they each have their arch enemy. Well, one of these arch enemies is nothing at the end. They were like, I don't know. It was just really the last book I would say I was 60% happy with. The main battle was exciting, a lot of exciting moments in it, but there was also a lot of why is this in here? I don't know. Have you ever they have any thoughts on the old flip book game Ace of Aces? It's a really neat concept. I really like the Ace of Aces type games. If you've never played them before, you have 2 books. They're identical books. And each page shows you the cockpit of an airplane. And then at the bottom of the page, you pick a maneuver, your opponent picks a maneuver, you tell each other maneuvers, and it will tell you which page to go to. And it will show you if you can see them, like if you're on their tail or whatever. It's really like a video game, except you're trying to outthink the other person. It's not necessarily who's best at the controllers. It's a neat idea. And they made many, many different versions of it. If you had to live somewhere else, where would you live? Oh, probably in my neighbor's house. It seems like it's a pretty good location. I really like the city they live in and all the people around them. It seems like a really great place. So if I would live somewhere else, I'd probably just live right in their house. Baseball is just as bad salaries. I agree. Baseball salaries are ridiculous. And Major League Baseball is not so much fun for me because of that. But I like the sport of baseball so much that I will just, ignore the players and just watch the sport. I actually like AAA baseball probably better. Does Dice Tower assist game developers by telling you if your game is good or not? We will do that with our review usually. What is your favorite Switch game besides Breath of the Wild? Breath of the Wild? I beat Breath of the Wild, and so I've really dropped down on my playing of it, because once you beat something, I'm going to go back and finish everything at some point of it, but I went and beat the final enemy. And my kids all watched. It was great. So last night, my kids are like, hey, please play. We want to watch you. So, all right, fine. So I went in and did an optional side quest. It's a thing that you do where it takes away everything you have. You start with nothing, and you just go through level after level after level, only using the stuff that you have in those levels and the stuff that you are fighting. You have to fight against the different people. Oh, it's really hard. It's really hard. I think I only get to level... Got to 7. I think there's 30 levels. I'm really bad at it, and the kids laugh at me. It's really funny. My kids are very different. One of my kids is like, go, Daddy, go. Our kid's like, that was the stupidest move I've ever seen. I'm like, you don't have to watch. You get to watch all the time. And they're always like that. Does the hurricane mean the Vasel Memorial Fund needs an extra shot of cash? You can always donate to the Jack Vasel Fund, but the Jack Vasel Fund is to help gamers in their time of need. I did not take any money from it. I will never take money from it, all right? It is not no one who's part of the Jack Vasel Fund can take money from it. So if someone involved with the hurricane has had something happen to them and they come to the Jack Vasel Fund, we will help them. But it is not just a general charity helping people. It's helping gamers in their time of need. They can apply there, and then we go over it. 357 Magnum hot sauce or Da Bomb are hot sauces. I used to have Da Bomb. Yeah, that was a very, very hot sauce. I'm going to say Dave's Ultimate Insanity. I think it's hotter than Da Bomb. I don't know. And I actually have a really hot one right now. It's a clear one and has a bit of that capsaicin stuff at the very top. And then you shake it and the thing turns orange. If you don't shake it, you'll die. I think it's essentially just vinegar with this tiny bit in there. And I have that, and I've used a drop of it, and I was like, yeah, this is ridiculous. Why did I buy this? Pain is good hot sauce. I have had that one, and that is a good one, and that is a very hot one, yes. Perhaps the New Time Stories is mature, dealing with mortgages and pension investment. Yes, maybe that's what it is. All right, kids, you can't play this one because there's taxes. Ah, it's too mature. Let's see here. Will you do a full playthrough of Pandemic 2 like you did the first? That I think we will do. Some of us really like playthroughs of Time Stories. Please consider recording it still. Yes, but no matter what I say, there's always going to be one person who says, we really like them, but we're not going to record the next one and see how great the outcry is. I'm just telling you now. When will you review Mythic Battles Pantheon? The game is coming on December 2017. Well, I don't know when. I would assume we'll get it somewhere around that time, maybe or not. I think Sam's going to review it anyway because he's excited about it. What curriculum do you use for homeschooling? We use Becca Books. If you were able to secure one, would you pick up an NES Classic or an NES or a Super Nintendo Classic? Definitely Super Nintendo. I like the Nintendo. I played it as a kid, but Super Nintendo, Super Mario World is better than any of the Super Mario games for Nintendo, hands down. The Zelda, I like Zelda 1 and Link, but for the Nintendo, but for the second one, as cool of a game as it is, it's way too hard. The Legend of Zelda game for Super Nintendo is fantastic. And then, of course, there's Super Mario RPG, fantastic game. So, Super Mario RPG, Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy 3 or 6, whichever one you want, and Super Mario, those are the 4 games that would really make me pick the Super Nintendo over the old one. Will the Dice Tower Cruise pass by Sydney, Australia? No. Will you be seeing the new It movie? Probably not. I'm not a huge fan of horror movies. Forbidden Stars, yes. Okay, so this is going back earlier to a question I had where I was saying a game that kind of replaced StarCraft. Forbidden Stars is the Warhammer 40K theme. There's a lot of differences between it and StarCraft. They are not the same game at all, but there are some similarities and it fits that same thing, and I think it does a better job. Are you excited for the new Civ board game from Fantasy Flight Games? Possibly. I don't know how well it's going to play. The StarCraft invented deck building meme seems to offend. First of all, it's not a meme. It's like I think 5 people say it. I just don't like when erroneous statements are made, I guess. That's all. The Crude Brothers are a YouTube hot sauce review channel. Don't let the name of the fool you. One of the reviewers is 10 years old. All right. Father and son team who make fun videos about hot sauces. Got it. That one looks more fun. That's what I'm looking for. All right. Thank you. Why no pets? You mean me? Like, do I hate pets? No, I'm just glad I don't have any pets when we travel. That was a very convenient thing. I have 7 children. I think that I don't need to have a pet. Oh, let's see here. Bunch of retracted messages. All right. Did I play Starfinder? I have not played Starfinder at all. But I do have the book. Why do I have the book when I'm not going to play it? Because I love reading RPG books. This looks neat. Except I meant to take it with me when I was running from the hurricane for something to read and then forgot. Do you think there will be a reprint for Battlestar Galactica? I don't know what Fantasy Flight is going to do with Battlestar Galactica. I would not be surprised if that is something that they redo, whether it's with a new theme or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see that come back at some point. Mario Kart 8 is great, sure. Mario Kart blank whatever is great. Has Downforce replaced Ave Caesar for you? Yes, it has, actually. How many sides is the Jason die? Yeah, or is Jason just a cube? Just a cube, I think. I'm sure you explained this already, but what room is this? This used to be the studio for the Dice Tower, but it is now my office. So let's see here. I think you can do this. All right, we'll put that back in just a second. All right, so I'm gonna look here. Okay, so that's all my kids' games and stuff. So you can see the shelves here. There's some games that we play at home with the kids. You can see I got the 10th anniversary Ticket to Ride. That's because if someone wants to play that, some people come to my house and want to play a game. That's the kind of game I can have. And so there's just different kids' games here. I already showed you the toys. And then we go over there. That's the bathroom. Over here, some posters. That's the I got that. Someone made that for me a long time ago. It's like if you look closely, that one on the top there that shows the Tom Vasel card from Nothing Personal. It's made up of a bunch of pictures of me and Eric. And then the Dice Tower board games. That's when I did the ran board game events at Camp Casey in Korea. I had that. There's a bunch of drinks on the floor that are leftovers from us running from the hurricane. That's a closet where I keep stuff in. Over here is a really cool picture there. It's hard to see it. The Gotham City one is neat, but above it, some guy did a Kickstarter for, like, he drew like a gazillion cartoon characters there. So then over here, we have my work area. You can see up here, there's some games that I will probably play with my kids. Then over here are the games that I'm thinking about taking with me to Grand Con. Well, it's and some toys and stuff in the window. And over there are Legos. We keep Legos in that storage thing there. And then back to me. A fascinating tour of the Vasel room. Let's see. Please do another live play of Faces. I think we'll do that at some point. Super Mario World is the best Mario game of all time. I don't know. I really like Super Mario 64. That one holds a special spot for me. Super Mario World's great, but Super Mario 64 was just this mind-blowingly fun, new experience. I'm really pumped about the next one. I'm definitely getting it. The one with... Because, I mean, it's Super Mario with hats that come off, and he can throw his hats at people, and... Yeah, Super Mario with a hat. Have you ever played Superman 64 on an N64? No, but I know enough about why. We played Mario Kart on the Super NES in college so much. We also played Super Mario Kart on an SNES a lot. When I was in college, the big game that was being played was on the 64 had just come out, and it was the James Bond Golden Gun game or whatever. That one was played a lot by people. Have you played Human Punishment? What do you make of it? I don't know what that's talking about. Okay, sorry. What about the Mario vs. Rabbids game? Will you do that? You like XCOM? I don't know enough about that game. I haven't really looked into it. I guess I'll read the reviews on it. Will you do more of the Jackbox live plays? Maybe at some point. Do you think Finca will be republished? Yes, someone announced that it was being republished. I forget which company, but I announced it on the news. I just can't remember who I said it was. That was a month or so ago. I just played Twilight Struggle with my son, says Paul. That was exciting. Well, that's cool. What was the first board or card game you bought with your own earned money? That's a good question. What's the first game I bought on my own? I don't know, but maybe Panzer Blitz. What happened was we moved to a neighborhood where there was a thrift store that was like 4 or 5 blocks away from my house. And my parents let me go there on my own. I'd be like, can I go to American Family? It was called American Family Services. And they said, sure. And I would go down there and check. Every day, if I was bored, I would go down and see if they had new board games. And they would charge like $1 or $2. And so I would buy them as time went by. Panzer Blitz, I got Gettysburg. Cosmic Encounter never showed up there, which really irritated me as a kid because one of my friends had the Eon version. I was like, oh, if they ever have Cosmic, I'll get it. But if I found the game, I would then have to go back and tell my parents that I found the game, tell them about the game, see if I could get the game myself. Are you a fan of virtual reality games? I played a virtual reality game once. At PAX, actually. It was very, very fun. How far have you gotten in Seventh Continent? Not that far, I don't think. Do you need to play more for review? I think so. I would like to beat a scenario, I think, before I do a review. GoldenEye, right. What did I say? Golden Gun? GoldenEye. You're right. That was the James Bond game everyone played when I was in college. I did not play it as much. I was too busy playing Civilization 2 at the time. And what other game was I playing a lot? Heroes of Might and Magic. Oh, man, I love that game. I don't even know what the newest Heroes of Might and Magic... Is there Heroes of Might and Magic for the iPad? I would play the snot out of that. And I played a lot of XCOM. Mario vs. Rabbids is XCOM in the Mario world. Ooh, that has me thinking here. Do you think Stone Age will be reprinted at some point? Yes, I'm sure of it. I wish you'd bring out the Box of Rocks game for your Q&As. Maybe I don't have it on me here. Do I have any games with me here that I could play with the audience? I don't think so. Hang on, let me look here real quick. No, I had an idea, but it didn't work out. Fighting Fantasy, Destiny Quest, or Fabled Lands? I don't know. Love thrift stores. Yeah, you know, I'll tell you what. There's still, to me, an excitement about going in a thrift store. The thrift stores here in South Florida are garbage. They really are, at least where I'm at. They don't have anything. And yet I still go in and I'm like, let me look at the hats. Let me look at the ties. Look at hats, ties, board games, and books. Those are the 4 things I look for. Board games, you know, it's a hit and miss. But books, you never know what book you'll find. You never know what hat or ties you'll find. Did you ever play the old Avalon Hill game Starship Troopers? I don't know if I ever played a game with someone else. I played solitaire versions of it because I had it. That was one of the games that I got a hold of. I was excited about. But I don't remember much about it, honestly. Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is the best. Still have it on every laptop. Well, like I said, I would love if they had a Heroes of Might and Magic, whatever the newest one is on the iPad. That'd be great. I always play the Necromancer because I like killing the enemy troops and having my skeletons go from like 50 to 200, 500. I'd be like 600 skeletons, and I'd fight someone and they would kill like all my skeletons. I'm like, all right, starting over. I just really had a big thing with that. What was my favorite Sega Genesis game? Wasn't there a game in Sega Genesis where a guy could put on a hat and he would change into different fighting units depending on the hat he wore? I didn't play Sega Genesis very much. We're talking a lot about video games today, huh? Do you still play World of Yoho? It's behind me. Any chance to add new things or modes in the app? They added some stuff earlier this year. Heroes of Might and Magic 3 HD Edition is on the iTunes stores for iPad currently. Yes! I now have something to do on my flight tomorrow. Is it safe to buy used hats? What about lice, etc.? I don't know. My lice seem to think it's okay when I get a new hat. They haven't argued that much about it. I don't think I've ever been to a thrift store in my life other than being dragged to one when I was a kid or something. I don't know. I mean, I know that there's like a stigma to it, but when you grew up with me, like I did, you went to a thrift store. And you'd be amazed at this stuff. You can find clothing that people have worn once or sometimes never at all. I don't care if someone else has worn the clothes. Big deal. My brothers and sisters and me were already wearing other people's clothes that people handed down to us and stuff. There's some things I won't buy at a thrift store. I won't buy like underwear there or whatever, but I'll buy shirts. I'll buy shoes we got there. We got clothing there. We found toys there. Sometimes I'll go there. I'll find a whole pile of toys for my kids. Yeah, I'll wash the toys before my kids play with them, but I don't think it's a bad thing to go to them. In fact, I think it's good because then some of the money goes to charity too that you're spending there. And you're reusing an item rather than adding it to the dumpster, I guess. What Roald Dahl book should be a board game? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I guess. That's his best book, right? It's a really great book. Too bad the sequel was so disappointing. James and the Giant Peach, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which is actually a short story, but I do like, that's my favorite thing he's written, I think. I love that story. Were you tall as a child, or did your height come later after several growth spurts? When I was born, I was not tall, but I eventually grew to be tall. The Brothers Mirth have been an amazing contributor to Dice Tower. They put out some wonderful content. Yes! Sometimes we get lucky finding amazing people. They are fantastic. When I was in Disney a couple weeks ago, I went to a thrift just outside of Disney. Bought pins for pin trading for my son for $1 each. Wow, what a good idea. That has never occurred to me to go to a thrift store right around Disney World. Next time I'm up there, I will do that. Kid Chameleon. That's the game. Yeah, that's my favorite Gen X game. Kid Chameleon. I really like that game. Just because I like the concept of it. You know, I like the concept of any game where you have to change to go far. There was a game on the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, which name I forget too, where you had this blob and you fed the blob jelly beans and it would change into an object based on what kind of jelly bean you fed it. And then you had to use that to get through the levels, and I liked that concept a lot. It was a lot of fun. The only thing, if I remember correctly, once I figured out how to do it, I was like, wow, this is a really short game. Oh, another game for Super Nintendo, Super Metroid. Another amazing game. Have you heard any rumors of what Fantasy Flight has planned for that line? I really felt them out when I was at Gen Con, and they told me nothing. Will Yellow sponsor the Dice Tower live show in Essen again? Yes, they will. Would you say Magi is that video game is Heroes of Might and Magic in board game form? Yeah, I think so. I think that's actually a pretty good comparison. Except the battles, right? They're not nearly as intriguing, the battles, right? But Heroes of Might and Magic is all about building stuff up. It's like I think the reason I like Heroes of Might and Magic is because essentially it's very similar to Warcraft, except it's turn-by-turn based in a sense that I don't have to be like, hurry, 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 build stuff as fast as you can. You build stuff, and there is a time limit on turns in the game, but you can move, and you can build, and you can do things. Oh, I can't wait to play this tomorrow on the iPad. Whoever told me that made my day. Any concern about mold at Dice Tower headquarters? Well, I guess we'll check it out when we get there. I draw the line at shoes from a thrift store. Do not bowl either, though. I wouldn't buy a couch from a thrift store just because I don't know what's living inside the couch. But I don't know. There's just I feel like I don't know. But then again, maybe if I had a lot of money, then I would never go to a thrift store either, right? Like, you won't catch me dead at one of those places. Thrift stores are an excellent place to get Legos. Amen to that. Let's see here. Boy and His Blob. Yeah, that's the game. I really enjoyed that game. Did they ever make that for anything other than the Game Boy? I just played it on the Game Boy. Will the Sheriff of Nottingham expansion be at Essen? No, Arcade Wonders is not going to have a booth at Essen, but you will be able to buy some of their games at other things. For example, Viral will be there, but it will be there with the Mesa Board Games guys. Best rolled doll was Danny, Champion of the World. I really did like that one too. That's a great story. Okay, folks, again, people keep asking us, will we get Z to play TI4? Now, Sam is bugging Z to play it, but I will never, ever make somebody play a game that they do not like on the live stream. And in that same vein, unless I think it's funny, I will not play a game I don't like on the live stream. It'd be like, do it for charity. No, that's like saying, hey, let's beat someone in the back for charity. No. Why would you make someone do something they don't like? Z would highly dislike TI4. So why would I make him play it? It makes no sense. It will not happen. I will not. No. There's a new version of Boy and His Blob out there? I need to stop reading these things. They made a sequel last year. Well, I am not paying attention, that's for sure. Let's see here. I haven't backed any board game Kickstarters in a really long time that I know of. In fact, let's look. I can go to Kickstarter and see the stuff that I have backed. Because I know I try to back stuff and backed projects. Okay, so the last thing that I backed was the Component Collector. That's from Dogmite Games. And then before that was Big Bad Con 2017. I just backed them because I like to back new cons sometimes. Then I had the Fidget Spinners. Oh, I actually have them. I'm going to show these off on Board Game Breakfast next week. But I'll show you guys these. These are two of the ones I got. Okay, so it's a die, but it's a fidget spinner. So you spin it, and I guess you could wait till it ends, but that'd be silly. You stop it, and then there's an arrow. So this one here is a 10-sided die and a 20-sided die. 10 on the inside, percentage on the middle, and then 20 on the outside. So I just rolled a 15. So I could spin it, and I just rolled a 7 on the 20-sided die. And I rolled a 9. All right, this is the same thing. This is a 12-sided one. And stop it. And I just rolled sorry, it's hard to read it upside down. A 6. So on the inside is a 6-sided die, and on the outside is a 12. So on the inside, I can stop it, and I just got a 1 on a 6-sided die or a 6 on a 12-sided die. Not the. I just like these. I like spinning them and stopping them. I don't know what. They're not the best fidget spinners. They're pretty good though. I just think it was a neat concept. So that's a back project that I did that came in pretty. When did I back that? I don't know. I backed the upgrades for Gloomhaven. I backed Rising Sun. I backed the board game Truck, which I just got. I guess I'm supposed to mark the ones that I've gotten. I have not been doing that. The Turtle Hat. I haven't backed anything on Kickstarter for a while. I don't back a ton of stuff. All right, let's get back to the Q&As. Thanks for nice words on Rules Girl. I think she's doing an amazing, I should say they are doing an amazing job on it. Um, do you think Royals needs an expansion? No, I think Royals is fine as it is. Would Jason or Melody play TI4? Yeah, Jason would, but I think we banned him from playing those kind of games with us. Because if you attack him, he'll go all ballistic and just say, "We now fight to the death." And that's not necessarily fun to play a whole game, an 8-hour game of that. Melody might like it, but it has dice in it, and she likes diceless games, apparently. Would you play Vasco da Gama with Paulo Mori if he were to give you Vasco da Gama hat as a gift? That's a very specific question, so I'll say yes. I would have thought Wits and Wagers was an exception based on your love of the base game. I feel pretty confident I will get a copy of the Wits and Wagers Vegas edition, since that's the version we will probably use for our live Wits and Wagers shows we do at conventions. So we'll get a copy at some point. Any particular reason you didn't back Deception Undercover Allies? Because I'll probably get a copy of it from Gray Fox. Deception, that is them, I think. I just don't back a lot of games because I don't have a ton of money. I know that people think we're wealthier at Dice Tower, but we're not. So I only back a few things a year, you know, with my disposable income type things. I don't back a lot of I don't back a lot of board games because we get so many board games in the mail. I don't really need to add more to that list. Do you lump Commands and Colors Napoleonics in with Ancients on your top 100? Or do you like Ancients that much better and it stands alone as your highest Commands and Colors game? First of all, you have to watch the list to see what my highest Commands and Colors game is. But I like Ancients much more than Napoleonics. Napoleonics is okay, but the Ancients has a much more keep your lines in formation type thing that I like a lot. I thought you hated fidget spinners. Yeah, I did. So then Mike Parkinson, the guy from Mike Parkinson, keeps sneaking fidget spinners to my kids when I'm not looking. He does the board game makeover on Board Game Breakfast. So he gave everyone, I don't know, he bought like 30 of them, gave them out to the Dice Tower people, and he gave me one, and I was like, this is stupid, and I kept spinning it, and I was like, okay, it is stupid, but I seem to like it. So maybe I'm coming around on them. I still think the idea that my kids all had to have one because everyone else did, I did not like that at all. I'm just a grumpy parent, I guess. Will Dominion ever die? Meaning no new expansions. I don't think we'll die. I don't think having no expansions is a death, but they seem to keep wanting to do more. There's another one coming out at Essen, I think. I would only use those fidget spinners in a game if I had to be quiet. I would miss the sound of the dice rolling. Well, they're not necessarily quiet because this is how I stop mine. And it's not that quiet. Or if you're slow in stopping it. Ever eat a sandwich you stored in your hat? No, I don't store anything in my hat because I would drop it. Except I did it one time at Vacation Bible School this summer. I thought it'd be a funny idea to do. I filled my hat with candy, right? And then I came out Vacation Bible School and I was like, hey, everybody, how are you doing today? And I took my hat off and the candy fell over the place. And I thought the kids would think that was funny, which they did. But then it occurred to me that I had just dropped free candy on the ground. And the kids went berserk. And I was like, oh, I may have caused a small riot right now. And I did. But everyone just looked at me like, good adulting. And I was like, well, the kids will remember this forever. Are you all in for Rising Sun, including the mat? I'm all in for Rising Sun, excluding, I didn't get for Rising Sun the art book. I got everything else. Now, you might say, Tom, why'd you get Rising Sun? You'll probably get a review copy of it. That's true, but I wanted my own copy, and I knew Sam would want a copy of it, too. And Z might even want a copy. Tom, you folks should start Dice Tower Con. We have. How often do you get recognized in public apart from board gaming settings? I don't know, 3 or 4 times a year. It's not very often. What is my favorite Italian dish? See, I'm really cautious to answer this sort of thing because I'm always afraid that the thing I'll say, people will be like, that's not actually Italian. So I'll say tortellini. I don't know if that's, I really like it. Let's see here. There is no crowd surfing this week. People keep asking. It's every other week. I just did one last Wednesday. Let's see here. Ooh, Trent became a fan of Dice Tower Con. Great. Oh, there's also Dice Tower Cruise, Trent. And that's actually sooner. You can still come to that one right now if you want. Let's see here. Do you still play Lords of Waterdeep? Sure. Although I gotta not give away my top 100 stuff, so we'll just let that go. Who is your favorite board game artist? Vincent Dutrait. I really like a lot of artists, okay? I really like, there's so many great artists out there, and I'll probably make a top 10 at some point, but Vincent Dutrait is my favorite. Tortellini is a great choice. I'm always worried, you know. Someone will be like, what's your favorite music? And you'll mention the kind of music. You're like, that's not real music. I'm always worried. You know, it's kind of like if someone came to me and they're like, my favorite board game is Monopoly. And I'd be like, okay. No, and you shouldn't be that way. But people are that way about food for sure. Of course, I guess I would be that way if you asked me like key lime pie. And I'd be like, if you haven't had key lime pie from down here. Have you ever used your position in Dice Tower to get a very exclusive out-of-print game? I don't know what you mean by that. I've gotten exclusive games before, I guess, from companies and such. But I don't try to throw my position around at all. I don't think that would be a good thing to do. Heard anything about Heroes of the Black Reach? Yeah, I got some pictures and stuff. I think we'll be posting those on Board Game Breakfast. I'll be talking about it. There should be a news story up on Dice Tower News soon about that because they did send out some more look at the game. That's definitely something Sam is going to review, I'm sure. What is your opinion on board games that require batteries in order to play them? That's fine. I am not a fan, says Otter. Well, I get it, you know, but I don't really care that much. I use batteries for so many things. What's one more thing? When do you review Massive Darkness? I don't know. I haven't played it yet. Sam played it during the hurricane. I took it with me during the hurricane, but Sam borrowed it to take to his place where he was staying, and they played it. Will you be reviewing Legends of the Five Rings, or is the Dice Tower done with LCGs? No, Z reviewed Legends of the Five Rings, but I can tell you my thoughts on it. I played it, and I played it more than once, actually. I find it interesting. Interesting is the best word. It's an interesting game. It has a lot of cool concepts in it, but it has a lot of, I need to think about this and that and cards. It's a little more complex than I would prefer. So it's the kind of game where I go, interesting game, neat game. I can admire this game, but I am not really a huge fan of it. Suggestions for food at Grand Con. Oh, you guys are going to have to tell me about it. Oh, I haven't been to Grand Con in the new location. The last location was different than this one. So I'm going to find out when we're there this time. Should someone who's only played Eldritch Horror give Arkham Horror a try? I don't know. I think you might be disappointed going backwards like that. Will places like Barnes & Nobles and Target getting into games and the friendly local game stores? No, and I'll be talking about that more on Board Game Breakfast as it comes by. Do you have a favorite of the escape room games? Currently, it's probably the exit games from Cosmos, although I like them all a lot. Does anyone know when Queen Domino comes out? I want to say it comes out around Essen time. Have you ever played Pocket Battles? For example, Confederacy versus Union? Yes. I think I reviewed at least one or two of them. What's the funny looking hat on the shelf above your right shoulder? Oh, that's my son's sombrero. We bought it when we were in Mexico at the cruise last year. Has the plug been officially pulled in Magic Arena of the Planeswalker? Wizards never officially pulls anything. They just let it die. And that's what definitely has happened. Boo on them. That really irritates me. They killed that game out the gate. It should have been launched with multiple expansions right out the gate. No reason that it wasn't. Any info or footage of New Manhattan? No. Well, I mean, we saw pictures of it. It looks great, and I actually saw the actual game itself. I think they're going to get me one near, before, or at Essen. Are you ever worried about YouTube pulling your channel? Wargamer Fritz is an example, and he was very family friendly and clean. I don't know what you're talking about. Why would YouTube pull my channel? Can you please consider making negative disappointed voting with people's top 100 games? I don't understand what you're asking to do there. Why is a new Manhattan reprint called Manhattan if the board appears to depict a tropical island? I don't think the board shows a tropical island. Maybe they're building a new Manhattan. I don't know. Will Riot Games do another board game? Maybe, but if they do, you know they're going to keep it quiet until they actually do it. Do you ever see a game on your shelves that you've forgotten you owned? It happens occasionally. It's usually when I open up a drawer of the small games. I'm like, oh yeah, I still have this small little game here. What game in the past 50 years do you feel has been the most innovative? Dungeons and Dragons. Have a nice day. Got to go, says Afra. You're right. I do need to go. This has been a 2-hour Q&A. That's okay. I knew that was going to happen. I wanted to make it a little bit longer for you guys, so it is about time for me to end here. It would have been really odd had I gone on for longer than that. But I figured since I wasn't doing other videos, I'd give you guys a live one. You're going to see a few videos being posted over the next several days from our contributors, not really from the Dice Tower staff as a whole. Hopefully we'll have power and stuff by for next week. And Board Game Breakfast is scheduled to go up on Monday. You're also going to see other videos go up next week. Maybe I'll do a live Q&A on Monday or not, but definitely going to catch up on reviews. I have a ton of reviews to do, so I will be doing as many as I can next week. Although next week I will be leaving on Thursday again and going up to Canada to HalCon in Halifax, Nova Scotia. So I hope to see some of you there. So I'll see you guys that week. Then the week after that, we'll be making our Essen plans and preparing for Essen. So we got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of reviews, top 100s and things like that. We'll keep working hard, folks. It will happen. Just realize that, we had a bit of a setback here, but we'll have to keep going regardless of that. So until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. All right, let's build that character. Let's see here. Character creation. What am I supposed to do first here? Step 1. Create a character concept. Well, that's a new thing. Alright, let's look here. Character concept. A character theme. That's a new thing. So I can be an ace pilot. I don't want to be a pilot. A bounty hunter or an icon. I wouldn't mind being the icon. That'd be funny. Like I would like to be a like a celebrity. That'd be fun. Mercenary, outlaw. Those both sound fun. Priest, scholar, spacefarer. Well, that's interesting, I suppose. Xenoseeker. What's a Xenoseeker? Meeting alien life? Oh. Ooh, I do like that one, too. That actually sounds more fun than Icon. Alright, races. I can be an android. Okay, so I'm just going to pick Xenoseeker. That gives me +1 charisma. And I can figure out who new alien life forms are if you don't share it. I can try to quickly learn someone's language, first contact, brilliant discovery. Wait a minute, let's go back to the icon. What does the icon get? No, I want to be the icon. I think it'd be fun to be famous for once. Alright, so let's see. Android, human, Kasathas, Las Huntas, Shirins, Vesk, and Yusolki. Android. I don't want to be an android. Human. That's boring. Kasatha. Those guys have really long heads. I don't want to be one of them. Las Huntas. They look like praying mantises. Shirins. Insects. No thank you. Vesk. Oh, I like these guys. They look big and mean. If you play them, you likely see other races as weak and dishonorable and believe the Vesk way is best. Prove your worth in combat. What if I was a Vesk sports player? That's what it would be. Sports player. Other races, find your size. Yeah, I'm going to be that. Because that doesn't even make any sense. And that's what I like. They have -2 intelligence. Didn't say I was going to be a smart person. I don't want to be that. Okay, classes. Let's see here. I could be an envoy. Negotiator. That's interesting. Ambassador. Oh, I see. Oh, that's really interesting. They have like envoy builds, and so if you're the envoy, an icon, you're a negotiator. No, I don't want to do that. All right, let's go to the next one here. Combat bounty hunters. Okay, mystic. I don't want to be no mystic. That's boring. Operative. Oh, operative sounds good. To be James Bondish. Maybe a bounty hunter? Maybe. Let's see here. A champion. Okay, that sounds good. The champion is a Solarian. You understand? Blah, blah, blah. Well, that sounds interesting. Strength is good. I protect people. I like being like a paladin type of person. No, I don't want to be a soldier. That seems kind of boring. Technomancer. That sounds good. Ooh, I'm getting a phone call. I gotta go.